Hey there, today I'm going to show you inside my tool shed. Hey, so I'm not going to take you inside the shed. It's just really small and there's not much light in there, and I wouldn't be able to fit me and the camera in there and show you stuff, so I'll just pull the tools out. But I just want to show you the tools that I use on a regular basis, things maybe you could skip when you start, things I think you absolutely need, that sort of thing. And I'll leave a link for everything I can find that I bought online. I'll leave in the description below. Some things I just bought locally, like at Lowe's or Home Depot, but I'll just mention as we go through. Alright, so basic stuff. You're going to need some basic gardening stuff in general. I like two shovels. I like this guy, the pointy guy, and the flat one. Both have their uses. Pretty self-explanatory with shovels. Rakes. I have 4 rakes, and I don't think they're all necessary, but I have them now and I have various uses for them. The first one is a soft rake. You probably have one of these at your house for raking leaves. That's usually what I wind up using for this, is raking leaves off of beds in the fall. This is an inexpensive tine rake. You might have seen this in I think my first video. There's a really nice one that's pretty pricey. I've been experimenting with this after, you know, like a little bit after germination to run over the bed to do some light cultivation, but I also find it really useful after you harvest things like baby greens. You can clean off the bed and get all the little loose leaves and stuff, so a nice thing to have. You could probably just use the soft rake for that. I got a hard rake that's about this size. I like this one a lot, and what I wind up using this one for is spraying out compost on the beds. You probably have a rake like this at home already, and maybe moving wood chips around a little bit, but you know, just a nice solid rake to have. You could also probably smooth out the beds with this if you don't have anything else that's special. This is 36-inch landscape rake. I think all these tools I got at Lowe's or Home Depot, except for the tine rake I got at Johnny's. This guy I use for smoothing out beds. That's the only thing I really use this for. And you can see, let me show you the end of it. Johnny sells a really nice one that's 30 inches wide. This one's 36 inches wide. It doesn't really bother me, the extra length on the 30-inch bed. I just kind of hold it at an angle. Now, some of these tools you've probably already seen in some of my videos, but I just want to make one video that has everything together. So let's talk about forks. This is one fork I use a lot. It's got 10 tines, I think, and I use this for moving wood chips around. You probably saw it in that video. Would also be really good for moving probably straw and hay, I guess. I don't really do that very often, but then I have this guy. It's called a digging fork. You might have seen this in the video where I'm prepping the tunnels. I use this to broad fork, or you know, instead of a broad fork in the tunnels, because the handle's really short and you can get along the side beds with it. It would also be really great for loosening up carrots and things like that. It's just really solidly built. I love this little guy. Got this off Amazon. I'll put a link for it. I love the handle here. It's got a really nice handle. You can actually put 2 hands and really pull back on it. Really well built. And then, of course, the broad fork, which I feel like most market gardeners have. Oh, it's pretty dirty. I bought this one from Dubois. I am really not happy with it. The tines bend constantly. I bend them back. I've kind of just given up on it. So people ask me all the time where to get a broad fork from. I will leave a link for this one, and I'll also leave a link for one which I would like to buy in the future. So I'll leave those 2 links here. And you guys have probably seen this in some of my bed prep videos, but this is used to loosen the soil without tilling it or inverting it, just to get some aeration into the soil. It really helps when you're first starting to use soil for the first few times. I noticed that even after 1 season, now that I'm going back over some of the beds that I built last year, they're just so much looser than they were last year. So I really highly recommend getting a broad fork. All right, let's talk about hose. A lot of people love these guys. These are called stirrup hose. I got these at Johnny's. They're super well made. They're a little bit pricey, but I feel like they'll last forever. I think they sell 3 different sizes. I have the small and the large, and they're great. They're really beefy. The cool thing about them is that they pivot so you can push and pull to do the weeding, and there's the blades are sharp on both sides. These are really neat. A lot of people use these to pull out baby greens. I haven't had the best luck with it because I think my soil is super soft because it's just all loose compost basically. It's really fluffy, and so it just destroys the beds. These are great for sort of more you know, harder working things against the ground. A lot of people use these in their walkways if they don't have a wheel hoe, things like that. I have not really been using them that much. They are really nice though, and there's a time, place for everything and your context. But I don't use these in the beds very often. What I really like to use is this guy. This is what's called a collinear hoe. This was designed by Elliot Coleman. It's got a cool offset, and you buy this at Johnny's. And the neat thing about this is that it's what's called a thumbs up tool. So you stand upright when you're using it, and you can just cultivate really nicely, and you don't have to bend over, which, you know, after a while your back definitely hurts. The thing about this, it's great, it's very accurate. The blade, they sell a couple different ones. They have ones with removable blades, different width blades and stuff like that, but this is the one I have. And if you have some really serious work to do on the ground with getting weeds out, this is not your tool. This is it's a little bit flimsier and lighter weight, which is why it's really easy to work with for longer periods of time. If you have some really hard stuff you want to get up, I would definitely recommend the stirrup hose. But this is great for just light cultivation, getting between heads of lettuce, just along the edges of the bed, stuff like that, if you just got to hit it really quickly. This is more like just to kind of disturb the surface, get rid of thread stage weeds, maybe take up some really light weeds, but it's not really for digging it and really getting in there. One tool I've really started to rely on is the flame weeder, and you've seen this in some of my bed prep videos. I'll put a link for this. There's a lot of different brands out there. There's some that are really wide and nice. You could do a whole bed at once. I don't have one of those. I would love one, but it's not in the cards right now. And this just attaches to a standard propane tank that you probably already have for your barbecue grill or whatever. I've really come to lean on this pretty heavily for helping me get a stale seed bed. All right, a little bit about watering wands. I got this idea from Curtis Stone. These are all dram parts, and I just love how modular they are. I'll leave a link for all this stuff. It has this cool shut-off valve. It's got a valve here so you can make the flow less or more. And then this is just on or off. It's got a wand, and then it's got a really nice head on it. And if you want to have different spray heads, you can buy those individually. One thing about these is that I put quick disconnects on all of my stuff so that it's easy to swap in and out. All the hoses and everything around the farm has got these quick disconnects. You get these at Home Depot or Lowe's. The other thing I really love is this guy. This is one of these just straight up adjustable nozzle spray things, and this is really awesome for just hand watering, and you can just, you know, turn this and it makes it wider or narrower to throw the water further. So yeah, simple things like this I love, and this way you don't have to buy a ton of them. If you can have one or two on your farm, and you can just move them around as you need them, as opposed to having one on every single hose that you have around the house or around the farm. I talked about these in the tomato pruning video. I love these dram pruners. They're awesome. You're definitely going to need a really nice wheelbarrow. You probably already have one. Again, a lot of the stuff you might already have. I really like this one because the wheel is non-pneumatic, right? It doesn't hold any air, so you can't get a flat. That's just awesome. So yeah, good wheelbarrow is crucial. I've definitely mentioned some of these in other videos. A post driver is great for driving in T-posts. If you've seen my trellis video, I use this. Measuring tape is a 100-foot measuring tape. I use this all the time for measuring out beds, for transplanting, stuff like that. Yeah, these things are just awesome to have. You'll wind up using them all the time. It helps you just get things really precise. All right, so this is in no way an entire list of tools. I'm sure there's a million things I'm forgetting. Also lots of little things like harvest totes and knives and stuff like that. I'll do a harvesting video and I'll show you the stuff I use for that too. But let me talk about some of the more expensive tools that I love having and just, you know, aren't necessary but are super awesome. One is the Jang Cedar. I did a whole video about this guy. I'll put a link up there so you can see why I love it so much and some of the tricks and tips I have for that. Again, you could use the Earthway if you have that. It's way cheaper, but I don't use the Earthway anymore. I just love the Jang. I use it for everything. The next thing is the tilther, which I've seen a lot of you guys ask me questions about, and super cool tool. Basically a really strong rake. It really goes down about an inch into the ground just to help mix in amendments and smooth out the soil. And then if you do get a tilther, make sure you get a really nice drill to go with that. I like these DeWalt drills, the 20 volts, and get some extra batteries, and the bigger the battery the better. If you're running multiple beds, the batteries tend to die pretty quickly. This is the Quick Cut Greens Harvester from Farmer's Friend. I love this thing, and I featured this in my first video, and I got it this season, so I did all last season with just harvesting with a knife. This is really great for baby greens. You can't cut lettuce with it, but man, it saves so much time. It's unbelievable. So I'll leave a link for this too. Again, you're gonna need a drill to run this, so if you have a nice drill for your tilther, or you just have a cordless drill anyways, you can put that on here. This just like slides right along, and as I said, I'll do a harvest video, so I'll put this guy in action again so you can check it out. Now, there are plenty of things I'm forgetting, but these are just the main things that I use all the time that I keep in my shed. Actually, I don't keep this in my shed because I keep this in the house where it stays clean. This is gonna come in contact with food. The rest of the stuff stays out in the shed. There's other things, nursery stuff, which I've shown in my microgreens video and my seed starting video. And then all the stuff for my chickens. I'm gonna do a whole other chicken video to show you all the gear I use for that. But this is the gear that basically lives in my shed that I use on a regular basis on the farm. And I just want to share this with you guys. You can sort of see that there are some things that are nice to have and some things to get going, but in general, it doesn't take a whole lot. And some of the pricier items you could definitely go without. One thing to invest in is a good irrigation system. So if you haven't seen my irrigation video, check that guy out. That is crucial to have a good irrigation system. Other than that, guys, yeah, just want to share this stuff with you. And if you have any more ideas for videos, please let me know. I've already got a nice long list, and I'm going to work my way through them. So please like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and if you don't want to miss any of these videos, please click on that little bell there, and I'll send you a notification when a new video comes out. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.